All right, I think that should be it. I think we're live. I
It
don't know
looks like
if
we're live.
I don't know if we can do this without Ginny, but we're gonna try. We're sure gonna try.
It looks like we're live.
I don't know if we. Ooh, that's interesting
All right. There we go. Sorry, I had some feedback
though.
there for a second.
Thank you.
We're good, though.
All right, fantastic.
Welcome, everybody. Hopefully, people are here. Welcome to the announcement stream for June and beyond. Things a little different today. You might notice my stint is far more beautiful than usual with Ted. Oh, wrong side. I'm backwards today with Ted instead of Ginny here.
Yes.
Uh,
Hello out there, guys, gals, and non-binary pals. We are pleased to be two bald, slightly less bald men, bringing you this month's announcement stream. Spencer, you gonna throw us into our list of topics here?
Yes. You probably know who we are, but if you don't, my name is Spencer Navarchu. I am one of the online administrators for Baldman Games online events, known as one of the lesser Baldmen. And this is, of course, Ted, who is the senior online organizer for Baldman Games events. He's usually here, but behind the scenes. Today, he is here in front of the camera as well,
You know what?
as
Every
well as
once in
behind
a
the scenes.
while, you just gotta step out into the light, as they say.
We're super glad to have you. As a quick reminder, we are going to have a giveaway a little bit later in the broadcast. We'll be giving away a couple of tickets to the June virtual weekend. So do stay tuned for that. And beyond that, we will be talking. Well, not really going to talk about our streams too much this month, but we will have some news later. Talking about our charity partner. We'll be talking about the giveaway, as I mentioned. We'll be talking about what we have coming up this month, some exciting stuff. We have next month, which is very exciting stuff. And then a few little wrap up bits of information. And we're really glad to have you all here for the June virtual weekend kickoff.
Yeah, it is. It is going to be a good one. I know that you've probably all seen a lot of the news about things that are coming out. It is an exciting time, and we have been very, very busy behind the scenes. And of course, we also have our in-person events starting up again with some of the big shows coming back to what they hope to be a slightly fuller attendance. So that does take a little bit of time for us to do some planning there as well. Um, we won't be talking about that in particular tonight, as we continue to focus on our online portion. That's what the two of us do mostly. But just know that there are a whole world of things that are coming out, and some of them we can't talk about yet, but we are very much looking forward to doing so soon. All right, so let me just address streaming first. We are expecting that we will probably do our chat about series that Ginny usually hosts for us, which typically falls on the Wednesday right before the show, which is the 8th, I believe, this month. Uh, that's something that we don't have quite ready to discuss yet, but we are working to find something that we think will be suitably engaging for all of you and interesting as well. We've got a great bunch of people that we've been chatting with to see who we can draw in and capture for at least a tiny bit of time. Everybody who is working on a lot of the books right now is pretty busy. But we have been very excited about what we've been able to say so far for the Critical Role book. So that's coming up. Details to be determined. And then later on, maybe this month, we hope to have some even bigger stuff to talk about in that vein. But right now, we are going to kick it over to Spencer again for our charity of the month.
So, as many of you probably know, June is officially Pride Month, which is
Woo!
something near and dear to many of us, me in particular. So we are super glad, super proud to be supporting Trans Lifeline this month. It's a grassroots hotline that offers direct emotional and financial support to trans people in crisis across Canada and the US. Um, they are run by the trans community for the trans community. And they have a goal, a vision of a world where trans people have the connections, economic security, and care that everyone needs and deserves. So we'll be supporting them this month. Really hope you'll join us in supporting them. We'll talk a little bit more about some of the things related to that a little bit later, but we will have reroll tickets as always, and a couple other odds and ends. So very glad to be partnering with them for the June Virtual Weekend for Pride Month.
Very much so.
Uh, you may notice Ted and I have shirts on that
Uh, to that end, we do have our usual sort of opportunities to donate. And speaking of things donation wise, we do our normal monthly giveaway where we have 2 free tickets to a game of your choice for the June virtual weekend. Uh, this is any game you choose. Details are going to show up in the chat shortly. You do need to be following our channel here on Twitch in order to be eligible. You don't have to purchase anything. You don't need to be a subscriber, but you do need to be following the channel. And once we start the clock, the contest will close in exactly 20 minutes. So our code word in honor of Pride Month and our friends over at Trans Lifeline is Pride. So that's going to be exclamation PRIDE. All right. And we are going to send that live now. So remember, it's exclamation PRIDE Pride in order to get 2 free tickets. And remember to go out and support the LGBTQ plus community. All right. I see y'all joining in there, which is exciting. Hopefully, some of you will pick up some very cool events. And speaking of events, we should go ahead and start talking about what it is that we're actually going to be running this month.
Well, we've got something real exciting coming up this month, which, I mean, I think, Ted, I think you'd love to talk about it.
Yeah, by all means. We are going to be doing a preview of Journey Through the Radiant Citadel. Journeys Through the Radiant Citadel, as you know, is the upcoming book that WotC is putting out, which is an anthology collection. We've been very excited to see these. They've been huge hits. We love running them. They provide such a diversity of different viewpoints, and Journeys Through the Radiant Citadel promises to be even more of that than usual. It is a book that was constructed and written to showcase a variety of different cultures, made by a team of people of color, and we are super thrilled that we get to run some of that first. And so our preview is going to be the Salted Legacy adventure. This is for first level Forgotten Realms characters. And as you may have heard, the book was delayed until July 19th. So even, I mean, this is an even better opportunity to get in there and check it out before anybody else, and get to see what we find so exciting about these adventures. Um, pretty pumped by this, Spencer. I have to say.
I'm pretty stoked as well. Having if you watch the stream that Watson put out, the D&D direct stream, they chatted with some of the people involved in making the book, and it just sounds fantastic.
Absolutely.
Uh, just a very different take on like familiar adventures, but also fresh at the same time.
Yeah, it's I think for me personally, having an opportunity to play an adventure that really sort of addresses some of the kind of content that's not typical in a lot of AL stuff, or even in most of D&D's history, is really good. And I am so curious to see what people have come up with from all of the interviews that I've watched about it. It's going to be pretty great. And as a note, if you have not looked into the book at all, it's designed specifically so that there's room for more. It's built in with a narrative hook that allows for expansion. So if you have your own stories that you want to tell at home, come play some of these awesome adventures with us, and then go back and see how you can bring some of your own history, your own ideas into something that is totally unique, that still fits into the style of storytelling. Uh, but let's jump ahead to our Critical Role stuff. Obviously, we've been running this for a little while now. We started, what, 4 months ago, was it, with the Explorer's Guide Adventures?
Uh,
3, 4.
February, March, I don't remember anymore.
Yeah, it's been a
Time has no
little
meaning.
while, not too long, um, but uh, but this is pretty exciting. And speaking of things that are different than your typical Forgotten Realms adventure, this is a great chance for us to dive into something that feels very authentically Critical Role, and that starts with our Wild Mount adventures.
Yeah, so we're running the Wild Mount intro adventures for Critical Role. This month, we're bringing you a new adventure we haven't run previously, Dangerous Designs. This is the final of 4 of the intro adventures from Explorers Guide to Element. Actually, the answer to this question right there. This will be our fourth month running it because it's the fourth adventure.
There you go.
Um, so we'll be running that this month. If you haven't had a chance to check it out, just a different take on a different corner of Wildmount for you to explore. In addition, we have Unwelcome Spirits returning as well. It is we've run this one for the last 3 months, and it is serves as more of a direct lead into the actual story of the Call of the Deep storyline. Neither one of them is required to play Another Deep. If you'd like to just jump right in to Call of Another Deep, you can absolutely do so. But they do provide a little more context, a little more flavor, a little wider view of the world.
Hmm.
And they get your character from first to third level in 4 hours, which is great if you want to play those early low levels. Um, if you already have a character that's leveled past that, you can actually de-level to play them, so that you're not restricted from joining in the fun and have them as like a flashback for your character from before they started their current adventures. Um, and we will continue to run Unwelcome Spirits as it is the lead into this for the foreseeable future, or until it stops selling tables, basically. No guarantees on when that will be. But Dangerous Design is going to be this month only, as far as we're planning right now. But once you're finished those, you move on to Call of the Netherdeep. Ted, you want to talk about that?
Actually, I'm going to see if I can make our closed captioning window a little bit bigger here. If you want to go ahead and keep rolling,
Sure.
let's see if we can make it a little easier for people to see.
Sure, can do. Call of the Netherdeep is the first campaign set directly in the world of Exandria, the world of Critical Role, and we have broken it up into digestible chunks that work well in convention-style play like we run. So we have parts 1 to 4 returning this month. Those are 4-hour sessions, just little digestible chunks. They don't necessarily line up to particular chapters. Coincidentally, parts 1 and 2 happen to be chapters 1 and 2. But not everything lines up quite so neatly. So we just call them part. So as long as you play the parts in order, you'll get through the entire story, we promise. So we have parts 1, 2, 3, and 4 returning this month. We've run them previously.
Hmm.
And all of them are 5-star tables, as are the Wildmount adventures, as are all our Critical Role adventures. That's what the stories are written for. And that gives you a little more room as adventurers to role play and explore a little bit without having to feel quite so jostling for space in the adventure. Um,
Yeah, which of course is one of the things that Critical Role is known for, right? I mean, we want this to feel like a campaign where you have an opportunity to build in a little more of that engagement with the world. Not that it doesn't exist, of course, in other adventures, but it wouldn't feel like a Critical Role game if you didn't have a chance to go and find some quirky shopkeeper, maybe with a weird accent, who knows, and try your best to make absolutely ridiculous barters, or spend some time actually talking to other members of your party in order to draw out some more of how they feel about what it is to be adventurers. This is a campaign that thrives on an idea that you are exploring your place in the world, and we want to make sure that people have an opportunity to do that. Uh,
um,
Go
so go
ahead.
ahead.
No, no, please.
All right. So we also have some new content, of course, this month as we continue forward through Call of the Nether Deep. But this month is going to be a little bit different with the new content.
Mm.
So Chapter 5 doesn't flow quite the same as the previous chapters. And so as a result, we have broken Part 5 up into. Sorry, it's Chapter 4. Does not flow quite the same. Part 5 does not flow quite the same. So we have broken up into 2-hour chunks. So the reason is there's an interesting mechanic that's introduced this month in this part of the book called factions,
Mm.
and you can join one, but only one of them. So the way this will work is you'll play part 5A. It's just a fairly standard session, it's only 2 hours long. And then after that, you can choose to play part 5B, but there's 3 different flavors for part 5B for the 3 different factions. Each one will serve as an introduction to that faction, and you can play them all. You can play one, and then if you don't want to join that faction, choose to play a different one, and then if you don't like that faction, choose to play the third one. Once you have picked your faction, you cannot continue to play them. It automatically exempts you from that faction. So make sure you don't want to join a faction before you decide to go and play the next one. But you can definitely play through all of them if you'd like to.
Absolutely.
Um,
They're going to give you a chance to learn a little bit about what each one is. You'll see some of that in Part 5A, where you get some quick opportunities to find out about these three different factions that exist within the setting of Part 5. And that way you can make sort of an educated choice about which ones sound more interesting to you. So when you go and oh, I'll just say it. When you go and have an opportunity to consider induction, and they want to find out a little bit more about how you are too, you can make sure that you make the correct choice. Do, of course, note for anybody who has played the adventure so far, there is that rival adventuring party who are out there as well, and they are also going to be making their own choices. So that ought to be pretty interesting. And as Spencer said, of course, once you have chosen a faction at the end of doing your 5B, whether you just do, go right for the one that you know you want, or whether you try out all three first, when we get to part 6, you are going to have to lock yourself in, and that will actually carry you through the rest of the book. So we will be listing our tables for all of these adventures by faction. So you are going to be grouping together with the people who are in a faction with you. Uh,
uh,
so so talk
and to
about
be
what the
clear,
players.
once you get to part 6, you will be playing only with your own faction.
Right.
So if you've been traveling with a party so far, you all might want to join the same faction, or you're going to go your separate ways, which can be fun as well. But that's something to keep in mind.
Yeah. Talk to your
Uh,
friends. Talk to your
yes,
friends.
definitely plan. So we do still have essentially 2 4-hour chunks of material, like worth of material, 8 hours worth of material this month. It's broken up into 2-hour sections instead of 2 4-hour sections.
Yep.
Just to be clear.
And we will continue to run these going forward, of course, for a few months, and so people will have a chance to get caught up and group together into their factions. Like we said, talk to your friends, make sure that you know what you want to do, because it is going to guide you in particular directions as we move forward. All right. Well, let's talk about our learn to play experience, though. At this point, we've been running this for several months. These are three classic 2-hour CCC adventures that we have found ways to tie into the ongoing Dreams of the Red Wizard storyline. We have the basics for people who really just want to jump in at the ground level, who are new to D&D, new to 5e, new to Adventurers League, and want to know how everything works. We're using Sisterhood of the Blade, a truly excellent adventure by Andrew Bashkinski for that. And Sisterhood of the Blade will guide you through what's on your character sheet, how to roll attacks and ability checks, how to make saves, and what all of the different things that you need to know as an adventurer are. Our intermediate adventure, which is Thayan Peacekeeper, dives into some social encounters, some exploration, and rounds out the experience for what D&D play is. And then tying all of that together, we have our advanced learn to play game, which is By the Seashore, which adds a few extra twists, some environmental factors, multiple things to keep in mind. And by the time you have completed all three of those, you should feel totally confident going ahead into Dreams of the Red Wizards or into any other Forgotten Realms play. Uh, and we are continuing, of course, our Dreams of the Red Wizards, although we are getting close to the point where we're going to want to wrap those up. So start thinking ahead. Spencer, I don't know if you want to talk more about that.
Just a little bit. By now, hopefully, all of you know we have completed the current storyline, the Dreams of the Rose's Terminal Ambition storyline, which started all the way back during just after season
Whew,
10,
it
if you'll
is
recall.
sprawling.
It is. It is. It acts as a follow up to season 10, though it also works as a standalone. So that is a full season ago. But it is finally wrapped up, and we're continuing to offer those adventures for those of you who want to play them, all the way from DRW 9 all the way up to DRW 20, the entire storyline, except for the epics. Those may come back, may not. We don't have any plans to bring them back right now.
Exactly.
but it's not impossible. And we'll continue to keep running those as long as you want to keep playing them. Tables keep selling, or until the next storyline starts up in the fall, whichever comes first. Uh,
Exactly. I am looking forward to the new storyline, I gotta say. Although
oh, me
these
too.
DRWs have been really fun. Terminal Ambitions is
So
just
good.
a powerhouse of a story.
And he's not just saying that because he canonically exists in one of them.
I mean, we both do. How about you, Spencel?
I mean, I have died so many times. There's something just very creepy and satisfying about someone being, oh, yeah, I beheaded you in an adventure. Oh, amazing.
Cool, 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 cool. Yeah.
Did I curse you at least? You know.
We do also, in addition to our DRW offerings, have Strixhaven. For those of you who've been playing along, we have our year 3 and 4 continuing along. Each one is in 3 parts, as each of the years of Strixhaven have been. We are trying to move towards the end of Strixhaven, so if you want to go ahead and make sure to find those groups to get together and plan your schedules, do go ahead and take a look to see when you can get into those. Uh, and then we have some older content that we are continuing to run as well.
We do. And this is, because you people asked for it. We're running classic adventures. Currently, we're running through season one, the Tyranny of Dragons storyline. These are the Adventures League modules, not the hardcover, not at present. These are being run at a pace of 1 to 2 modules per month. Currently, this month, we're running DDEX 0103, Shadows of the Moonsea, and DDEX 0104, Dues for the Dead. This will be the last month for '03, so if you have not played it by the end of this month, you'll have to find some time to play it on your own or commit someone to rent it for you.
Indeed.
Um, we are looking to wrap these up by November because we have something planned for November that I'm not going to talk about yet
Not
because
yet.
it's
Too soon.
more
Too
than 3 months
soon.
away. It's more than 3 months away. I
But
might
we're
laugh.
getting close. Oh, and I'm particularly excited because this is something that I have not had an opportunity to see before. So, but we'll
Not
talk
even
about it.
for treat. Yes.
I'm I'm pumped. I'm pumped. We are also running some of our season 4 Curse of Strahd modules. Mitch Smithson has been going through from the beginning of the season. This is for those of you who weren't aware, the first AL season that really had a single through line set of adventures that just ran you from level 1 up until the end of the season. It's a bit of an interesting one at the time, but they are very exciting, very deep set of adventures. And we are currently up to DDAL 407, which is the Innocent. This is a 4-hour adventure. Um, this is, as a reminder, not part of the Ravenloft Mist Hunters alternate campaign. This is part of the Forgotten Realms, so you can't use your RMH characters in Van Richten's Guide, but you do have access to all the normal Forgotten Realms options, which is pretty much everything else. And it really does tell a good story from beginning to end. So if you've been playing along, hopefully you'll have a chance to come back in, pick up this next installment, and continue from there.
It was like the first season I think that had like a really strong storyline from beginning to end,
Yeah.
like an actual through narrative, not just a set of connected adventures.
Yeah, before that, I mean, a lot of people just didn't, you'd play bits and pieces. There were chunks in different tiers, but this was a really good whole story told out in individual adventures. I
Mitch
can see
is
why it still resonates with people so strongly.
for sure. Mitch is hoping to wrap this up for October, and we may or may not have plans for October for when this wraps. Which again, it's more than 3 months out, so we just can't talk about it quite yet. Keep coming back.
But what we can talk about are some of those other adventures that we're running this month. And Spencer, I think you know about some author sessions that we're actually doing.
I do. As it turns out, a lot of you like playing D&D with the people who wrote the adventures. I guess isn't a surprise, but you've been asking for it, and we listen when you ask. So we have a couple amazing authors coming to run their own adventures for us this month. One is Andy Demps. He's been running his own adventures for several months now, but this month he is. I did not change the code on that. Okay. This month he's running a new adventure of his.
This is what, 3, 4?
This is no, this is a new one. Hang on, I didn't. See. This is the problem. I can't even blame anyone because I'm the one who prepped this documents. Give me a second while I grab the actual stuff. Um,
While
there we go.
Spencer's doing that, I'm going to very briefly interject to mention that, along with authors writing their own stuff, one of the things that you all seem to particularly enjoy is when we sprinkle in some high level adventure play. And a number of you have already run through with Andrew Giese doing some of the Tier 4 content from Season 7. So we are going to have him continue to run those. We've got Pools of Cerulean, which is 716, and Cauldrons of Sapphire, which is 717 this month. So if you need to get your fix for some of that sweet tier 4, uh, let's just call it what it is, wild cheese. Then please, by all means, make sure to get your groups together and come and enjoy that.
Uh, oh, and actually, also he's also running another one this month too, which I
Oh,
guess I also didn't put in the document. Man, I am not on the ball today.
you know what?
Uh,
It's been a busy time. We'll forgive you.
yeah,
Just
yeah.
this once, though. After
It'll be
that,
on the it's on the grid. You'll see it when it's on the grid. There's three tier fours, from Andrew. Andy Demps, he's writing his new dungeon craft, WBWDC where the wild woods. The blurb from this, at least the part I'm going to read you right now, is a tier one adventure for first level characters who don't know who they are yet, and their second to fourth level friends who might think they do. I mean, it sounds
I
amazing,
love
and
that.
yeah, it's great, right? Andy sent me that, and I thought it was brilliant. I might try and slip into one of those sessions if I can. Um, yeah, that sounds amazing. On top of that, I by pure random chance happened to run into another author of makes adventures I very much love, Brian Balagot, who wrote a trilogy, The Thin Veil, which I have been running myself,
Oh,
and found
nice.
out that I happen to know the author, which I didn't realize. So I've recruited him to run for us as well. And he'll be running the first two parts of his trilogy, WBWDC Andil 01, The Petrified Forest, and O2, The Bleeding Veil this month. It's part one and two of the trilogy. Next month he'll run part two again, as well as part three. Highly recommend those adventures. They are colorful and fun and interesting and just very satisfying. Highly recommend.
Very cool. Very cool.
Uh,
Speaking of cool things, though, I'm very excited about the next thing that you have to mention.
oh,
It is one of my all-time favorite adventures.
I, so I've not actually run this, but it was recommended. It comes highly recommended to me. So in honor of Pride Month, as some of you may know, I just run random stuff that I think might be interesting every month, and often it's topical to the month. I ran some Valentine adventures at Valentine's, holiday adventures at Christmas, things like that. This month, in honor of Pride, I wanted to run something that was a little more Pride focused, and a friend of mine recommended an adventure with a gender fluid NPC. It's called CCC TRI04 Birds of a Feather. It is a tier 2 adventure for 2 hours long, so I'll be running it twice in each slot. I'm looking forward to this one a lot. I've read through it. I've started prepping it. It looks like a blast, and
Oh,
yeah,
it's great. I've played this one several times actually myself, and run it as well. It's the second part of a two-part series, the Rock Slide series. Although you can easily you don't have to worry about missing anything crucial from the first part. Um, the character that Spencer is referring to is just amazing. Truly, it's got one of the most fun combats I've ever seen in an adventure. Some great personalities, some really flavorful sort of depictions and items. And at the time, this is actually one of the very first 2 hour tier 2 adventures when CCC started up. It was really hard to find things that fit into a 2 hour slot. So this was an absolute godsend for a huge number of smaller conventions and game days. And it's a blast. It's from beginning to end, absolutely delightful. Love this adventure, written by a good friend of mine from right around here in the Boston area, Garrett Cologne, who some of you have seen as an author of a number of other adventures.
Garrett's fantastic.
This is going to be pretty exciting. I would definitely say if you are looking for tickets to something, this is one to put on your short list.
Oh, now I'm even happier I'm running it with that recommendation. So that concludes all the stuff we have for this month. So with that, yeah, Garrett kills. Yeah, Garrett will do that. Um,
Garrett one-shotted me one time in a tier 3 adventure. First round, first turn, first combat of the adventure, I died, straight up dead. Just want to throw that out there to set the stage. Not saying that that's what Spencer's going to do to you, but it happened to me. So
Look, it almost never happens. Rare. Okay, like not that off. Look, less often than I probably imply. Miss you too, Alvaro. Glad to see you. So here's the link for this month's grid. I will let you know right now. I haven't had a chance to pretty it up yet. There was a bit of a time crunch this month. It is correct and functional. I will take some time to pretty it up when I have some time. But to have at the grid, take a look and go over anything that we forgot to mention in this stream so far.
it's full. It's packed. I mean,
Yeah.
we these last couple of months, there is so much content out now and so much content coming up ahead. Let's talk a little bit about that, but I want to throw it out that there is a whole lot of stuff coming down the pipeline. And we have some other things that we are going to chat about soon. In fact, let me we'll talk as we come up ahead. I'm going to throw something else out here that's not on Spencer's list,
Ooh,
just to get you all thinking.
exciting. Oh, in that case, let me just start moving to the list so we can get there. Let's start with talking about new dates. So, if you subscribe to the Baldman Games calendar, you may have already seen this because it's been up for a few days now. But it's in our Discord. There's a calendar channel. If you go in there, you can see the events there, and actually click on the link and follow through to subscribe to it and add it to your own Google Calendar. But we have dates for the August virtual weekend, which will be August 19th to 21st. That is 2 weeks after Gen Con, because it's just that time of year where all the cons just, well, they keep coming and they don't stop coming.
Yeah, talk about it.
So that's confirmed date for August. We also have a firm-ish date, a tentative firm date for September 16th to 18th. We will confirm that soon before next month and then lock that in. But that should be pretty firm enough that you can start probably planning around it. Just don't buy plane tickets or anything
Yeah.
around that.
Now, of course, as I had just mentioned, there's a lot of stuff. I mean, there's just so much, and in order to make room for some of the new stuff that's coming down the pipeline, we are going to have to eventually stop running a few of our current offerings. You may notice that some things are wrapping up, which is one of the reasons that we now put out the 3 month tentative plan, so that you can go ahead and see when you want to get things finished up. But remember that events removed from the rotation are not gone for good. The best way that you can make that happen for yourself, if you have a group of people who still want to play something that's no longer offered, is to put together a red carpet table. We do have a slightly new red carpet application process. It's not too different. We're just trying to put some dates to it and give people deadlines and a set of expectations. But here is our current link for how we are doing our red carpets. Um, uh, this is where you get a group together. Um, if you have a particular DM in mind that you would like to run something, you can request them as well, or you can just ask for whoever we have available. And we will make our best effort to go ahead and schedule that when possible. Do please try to get those in as early as you can, uh, so that we have time to work that into the schedule. If you ask us for it, after we've already put up the list of adventures, there's a little less wiggle room for us to try to do that, and we will cut off requests and push them, ask you to resubmit for future months. Um, but other things that are still to come include our very exciting look at Spelljammer Academy.
Yes, it's been killing me to sit on this for a little while, but I can now tell you definitively, we will have the first two of four of the Spelljammer Academy intros at the July virtual weekend. That is a couple days
Yes.
before they release to the public, and I am so excited, so excited. Um,
Battle
the
Dolphins, Spencer. Battle
Battle
Dolphins.
Dolphin, yeah, like there better be a Battle Dolphin. Look, I'm happy regardless. But if there's Battle Dolphin, I'll probably cry. So we don't have any more details about what the two adventures are, or any details about them quite yet. It's a little bit before, a little bit too soon. But I can confirm they are coming. We'll have two of the four Spelljammer Academy intros. Get get your space pirate characters built, guys. That's all I can say.
Uh, you know what? If I don't see more flumps with pirate hats, I'm going to be insanely disappointed, and so will Teos. Teos will be very disappointed if there
Teus will
aren't more
cry.
flumps. Yeah.
But that's not the only new content we've got coming this summer.
Yeah, we do also have a an actual new learn to play coming up ahead in August. We're not quite ready to give you the exact specifics on it, but we are looking to launch that with Gen Con and with our August virtual weekend. So for those of you who've been looking for a chance to get into it, or trying to get your friends in, or just want to go back and experience, a new character, this might be a great opportunity for you to get a group together, grab your family, your friends, your kids, and try to get them into this new experience so that you can all have something fresh together. We've also got some Strixhaven coming up.
We do. As Ted mentioned before, Strixhaven's starting to wind down. We are looking to wrap it up in August, so you've got between now and then to get through the rest of it if you started previously. We've already finished off with year one and year two. If you missed them, you'll have to book a red carpet or find another convince a DM to run them for you, because we were not putting them on the schedule anymore. Um, Year three is continuing to run this month and next month. But after that, it is gone as well, and be joining year one and year two in the retirement home. Um, and then year four, which started last month, technically,
Yep.
will continue to run up until August. But again, in August, it goes away. We've got too much new content coming. I know some of you have expressed frustration that the content moves too fast, but all I can say is we run the content that keeps pouring out of the Watsy tap. We can't not keep moving forward. We drown if we don't. The tank overflows. So
Absolutely. We have some thoughts about that. I'm gonna come back to that. This is the thing that's not on the list, but
oh,
I'll come back to
I
this.
know I know it is now.
I'll come back to this shortly. In the meantime, of course, we, as mentioned, are continuing to go ahead with our season one and season four content to get some older things in here. We're continuing to run 1 to 2 ish adventures a month. That's going to take us into the fall. We're just continuing to roll, so if you miss it, you miss it. But don't worry about it. You can always try to again find a red carpet, or maybe do something else that I'll come back to. So that's season one and season four, with our regular crew of folks. We are about halfway through season four at this point, and a little less than that on season one, only because we're season one breaks up a little differently. But Mitch is kind of right at the midpoint of season four. We also have some new tier one Dreams of the Red Wizards intros. Gen Con is where we are going to go ahead and show those off. I know folks have been waiting to see something lower level in DRW. And so, although we will continue to run Terminal Ambitions at least until the new full DRW storyline releases, um, uh, these new intro adventures will let you sort of on ramp characters in and get them ready for the new stuff.
These have been specifically written for people who don't want to play the Spelljammer Academy on
Yep,
ramps. If you
might not be your thing.
want, might not be your thing. This is your alternative. Different interests for different people.
Yep.
Um, but coming up on speaking of different content, Critical Role is still kicking along. Um, so we've got as we talked about before, we've got the Wild Mount on ramp adventures. Unwelcome Spirits continue to run alongside Call of the Deep. Again, until it stops selling. At some point, it'll probably go away. But as long as people want to keep buying tickets to it, we'll keep running it. Gets you to level 3 in a single session. And again, not required to play. It's just there if you would like a little more lead in for the adventures. Though the reason Nether Deep starts at higher level is because the critical people don't like low level play. So
Many
feel free to
people
skip it.
don't.
Yes. And then Nether Deep, Call of the Nether Deep will continue to run. Parts 1 and 2 will keep running till at least July. Past that, we're not making promises. It will depend on how sales are and how full the content pipeline is looking. Parts 3 and 4 will continue running to at least August. Same conditions. Part 5 starts this month. That's Part 5A and B will start this month. As of right now, running them all is 2-hour sessions. That may shift around a little bit as we continue forward. We'll see how this month goes. And then Part 6 will come around next month. Probably Part 7 too.
I think so.
We'll see.
We do have, of course, our upcoming dates. We mentioned our ones a little bit further ahead, but July is coming up so swiftly. Time just it keeps on slipping into the future, as they say. July 8th to the 10th is going to be our virtual weekend there. And then the 19th to the 21st of August, we do need a tiny bit of time after Gen Con to recuperate just a little bit before we go ahead and spin that up. Um, Reminder that, of course, the further out you look, the more tentative and fluid all of this is. These are plans, subject to change, but we do generally think that this is pretty solid. And now comes the time for me to mention the other thing that I was discussing earlier, which is that some of you have mentioned there are times where you would like to do something that just doesn't quite fit into our virtual weekends. Maybe the pacing of things doesn't quite work. Maybe our DMs want to try something a little more interesting and experimental. And so we are looking for a great venue to offer up some of these other things. And we are planning very shortly. In fact, we will have a tiny bit more specific announcement about this in the next week. But we are looking to pilot a new program where you can go ahead and play additional adventures outside of the virtual weekends. We are currently calling it our home game in the cloud. And this is a chance for you to get basically a red carpet type thing that runs on your schedule. So you and your DM will work together. We'll have listings up on the Yawning Portal shortly for a few pilot adventures here. To see sort of what works in terms of pacing, how much content people are interested in doing, how we want to get groups together and get them signed up and matched with DMs. But expect to see some more stuff coming out very, very shortly. As I mentioned, later this week is the plan for the first crop of these pilot adventures. And so if you have something that you really want to see run, maybe it's a hardcover that's from an older season, or something like Strixhaven. Or maybe you want something that's really truly a home game, something outside of AL, or conversions, or even play of older editions. This could be an excellent opportunity for groups to get together and do something different. So that we can keep rolling ahead with our very chunky batch of upcoming adventures. Wizards just keeps giving us great new content, and we want to run all the best and latest and greatest during those virtual weekends. So think about what works for your groups, and we will have more information about this very, very soon.
I'm super excited about this program, and I, for one, love the name "Home Game in the Cloud."
Me too.
Just
Uh,
putting that out there for no particular reason.
all right. As usual, we have our 3 month link that Spencer has so kindly put together. If you want to go ahead and drop that
I,
for
I
oh yeah,
will.
yeah.
I will
I
drop the
don't know
link.
if this is hooked up,
Yeah, I will
right?
drop the link with the caveat that it has not been updated for this month yet. It will be shortly after the stream ends. I just ran out of time before the stream started.
Yeah.
Like 20 minutes after we end, it'll be updated. But I'll put the link up now.
We do have
Um,
that beautiful grid that Spencer has so assiduously helped us maintain and fill with all of the awesome content. So very excited to share that with you. Um,
Linear time sucks.
yeah, yeah. This is going to redirect you always to whatever the latest is as soon as we flip the
Yeah,
switch on that.
I just updated on the back end, and it's always the current one. So within by 10 p.m. tonight, Baldman time, 50 minutes from now, I promise we'll have the updated grid on it.
Uh,
Um, But Ted, I think it's about that time.
Yeah, this is going to take us as we wrap up at the very end here. We want to announce our giveaway winner for this month. So I'll get a virtual drum roll here as I flip over. And our two free tickets to the June virtual D&D weekend are going to Matt Bathome. All right.
Congratulations, Mac Bat Home.
Yeah, we are looking forward to seeing you at games. We are going to go ahead and have you. We're going to ask you to stay in the chat. We're going to go ahead and reach out to you through Twitch.
It's the
So
only way we can.
yes, unfortunately. Uh, so if you look up at the top right corner of your Twitch, if you're on desktop, there is a Whispers, which is where we are going to go ahead and give you a message shortly. So we'll get you all the details that you need. Congratulations again. Uh,
Oh,
Spencer, you wanna take us to the
yeah.
end here?
So that brings us to the end of our little stream here. So if you somehow have managed to find us to join the stream without knowing anything about us, we are Baldman Games. We are a thriving community of nerds who love Dungeons and Dragons. You can find us all over the internet. We've got a link to tickets for the June event. Obviously, there's nothing in there quite yet, but that will start to populate sometime tomorrow. And tickets will go on sale on Tuesday, as they always do, at noon Baldman time. That is Eastern Daylight Time. That's UTC -4 currently,
Mhm.
because time zones and daylight time suck.
That they do.
If you're looking for more information about us and our events, www.baldmangames.com. If you want to see what we have coming up in the future, baldman.link/calendar will take you to our calendar. It's also actually on the website now because we fixed that. So it's at baldmangames.com now. It'll drop you right to the calendar, actually. Our Discord community is where you'll find us most active. Our community server is discord.gg/bmg. Um, I mean, I basically live there. I mean, that's I don't I don't know. I mean, I exist in cyberspace. Where else would I go?
It's true.
Um, we're on Twitch right here at twitch.tv /Baldwin_games, but I guess you know that already. We're on YouTube at Baldwin.link/YouTube. Social media at Baldwin Games, Facebook.com/Baldwin Games. You can find me at AdamSMNC. You can find Ted at Ted366. Um, I don't really tweet a lot
I'm
though.
dropping a whole bunch of links in here for you.
I think that's about it. Again, the dates, which I didn't update on this sheet. Man, time was not on my side today. The dates for this month are June 10th to the 12th. The grid link is baldwin.link/June grid, June-grid. The 3-month link will be updated shortly, baldwin.link/3-month, 3-month. If you have any suggestions about this, would like to just tell us how bad Ted and I are doing this on our own,
Yeah, please
uh,
do.
please do.
I still don't
Uh,
know how we're surviving without Ginny, but
no,
you know,
really don't. Ginny, come
something
back. We
something
need you.
MomoCon something.
Yeah, yeah, running her own con. Ah, jeez. But tweet at us. Talk to us on Discord. We have a whole channel for that. If you get the streaming role, you can see the BMG shows category where you can talk to us about stuff on Twitch. I think that's everything.
I think so too, and we certainly are plenty good at talking. So we will leave you on that note, saying thank you once again. A reminder to go out and help support an inclusive and welcoming gaming space, especially during this Pride Month that we are about to enter. And remember that we will have a lot of very exciting things, including information about that home game in the cloud coming up very shortly. So stay tuned, come find us, and make sure to say hi, and make sure to love each other.
Thanks for your time, everyone. Matt at home, glad you're here. Stick around.